The watch had stopped. Kong In-sok reached into the corner of his father's old wooden drawer and felt something small and round. He lifted it out. A pocket watch. The cover was shut. He had never seen this before. His father had kept this and said nothing. He turned it over in his hands. Heavy, metal, cold in the way that old metal always is. He pressed his thumb to the latch. It clicked open. Inside was a watch face. Numbers marked in Chinese characters. The glass was slightly clouded with age. Both hands pointed to the same place. 12 o'clock. Exactly. He shook it gently. Nothing moved. It had stopped a long time ago. It was the pre-dawn hours of late March. 3 days since his father had died. In-sok had not slept. He had lain down sometime past 1 in the morning, and stayed in a state between rest and wakefulness until he gave up and walked to his father's room. During the day there had been no pause. Food to prepare, guests to receive, documents to complete. Neighbors had helped with some of it, but most of it fell to him. When the last visitor left in the evening, he still could not sit still. There were things to do tomorrow, things he had not yet planned. Eventually the night deepened and sleep would not come, and he came to this room instead. His father's room still held his father's smell. Old wood, worn cloth, something underneath that he could not name. The accumulated warmth of a person who had lived in a space for decades. A thing that would not leave immediately. A thing that would leave in time. He stood in it for a while without moving anything. Then he lit a candle and started to look through the belongings. He did not know yet when he would properly clear this room. But he needed his hands to be doing something. Kong Byung-soo had been 76. He had appeared healthy. Until last winter he had swept the yard alone before sunrise. He cooked his own meals. When In-sok offered to help he waved him off. "I'm fine. I'm still fine." He said it often. When In-sok called to say he would come for a weekend, his father told him not to bother. Then when In-sok came anyway, his father would have cooked more than usual and prepared side dishes the day before. He never said he was glad, but it showed. That was who his father was. Not a man of words. A man of small, unspoken actions. One morning that man did not get up. A neighbor called before sunrise. No answer at the door. In-sok came quickly. He used his key. His father was lying in his bedding, hands folded neatly on his stomach. He looked asleep. He was cold. During the funeral In-sok did not cry much. He did not think it strange. There was too much to do. Or perhaps it had not yet become real. He could not tell which. He did what needed to be done. That was all. Beneath a folded cloth at the back of the drawer was a worn notebook. The cover was so faded, it was impossible to know what color it had originally been. He opened it carefully. A date appeared on the first page. 35 years ago. The year In-sok was 12 years old. He read the handwriting. His father's, upright and angular, with a particular habit of pressing slightly harder on certain final strokes. He had noticed that habit once as a boy watching his father sign a school form. It was still here, unmistakably his father's hand. His father had kept a journal. In-sok had not known. Not once had his father mentioned it. He had never seen a notebook on the desk. He had never seen his father writing anything. That man had done this in secret, in the back of a drawer, under folded cloth, where no one would find it. He read the first page. "Today I stopped the watch. I do not want to see time moving forward anymore. After that hour, time has no meaning." In-sok stopped reading. He looked at the watch in his hand. Both hands at 12. He understood now. His father had placed those hands at 12 and left them there. He turned the page. A few days later. Still waiting. I am still waiting. The next page. More days had passed. No word. There probably will not be any now. But I will keep waiting. The page after that. Nothing today again. Waiting has become a habit. Becoming a habit does not make it any easier. In-sok held the notebook and looked at the candle. Wind came through the window crack and the flame moved. From somewhere in the dark alley outside, a street lamp blinked. A small piece of ice fell from the eve. A dog barked once in the distance and went quiet. 35 years ago, the year he was 12. He tried to recall it. Nothing stood out. A quiet and ordinary year. His father went to work and came home. His mother cooked and cleaned. In-sok went to school. He had no siblings. He walked alone to school and home again. He kicked a ball in the gray alley by himself until evening. A safe and unremarkable year. And yet in that year his father had stopped a watch at 12 o'clock. He had waited for someone. For word from someone. That word never came. Not that year. Not the year after. Not 10 years later. Not 20. He paged further. The following year. The handwriting had steadied somewhat. But the content had grown heavier. The 12th month has come. 1 year has passed. Still no word from Man-soo. The watch has not moved. I will not let it move. Man-soo. In-sok fixed his eyes on the name. He had never heard it before. His father had never said it. Man-soo. The name of the person his father had waited for through 1 full year. The person worth stopping a watch for. Worth keeping stopped. He flipped through the middle of the notebook. 25 years ago. In-sok would have been 22. I walked that alley today. The one where Man-soo lived. The house was still there. But different people live in it now. I knocked. I asked if they knew who had lived there 20 years ago. They did not know. Of course they did not. I stood there for a while and then came back. The watch is still at 12. In-sok read it twice. 25 years ago, his father had walked to that alley. Had asked about someone who left 20 years before that. So Man-soo had gone from that house 35 years ago. Around the time his father stopped the watch, Man-soo had disappeared. His father had gone to find him and found strangers instead. He came home with nothing. He turned to the last pages. He found the most recent entry. 1 year ago, I saw him in a dream last night. Man-soo said he would come at 12 o'clock. He said this time he would come. It was a dream. I opened the watch when I woke up. It is still at 12. I will not let it move. Until I die. In-sok set the notebook down on his knees. His hands were trembling slightly. Until I die. His father had written those words. And it had come true. A year later his father was gone. The watch was still at 12. 35 years. His father had waited for Man-soo alone. Telling no one. Keeping the watch stopped. Dreaming of him. Walking to his old alley and finding nothing. Man-soo never appeared. A sound came from beyond the door. Footsteps on the wooden floor. Careful footsteps. The door opened. His mother. She had not slept either. Her eyes were swollen. She had seen the candlelight and come. She looked at In-sok and stopped. Then she saw the watch in his hand. Her face changed. The look of someone who knows what that object is. In-sok asked, "Do you know this watch?" She did not answer. She came in and sat beside him. She looked at the watch for a long moment. She reached toward it and then pulled her hand back. In-sok said, "I read some of father's journal." A name kept appearing. Man-soo. From 35 years ago. He seems to have been waiting all this time. The watch, too, stopped at 12 from then. His mother looked up. Something changed in her eyes. A deep expression. The look of something long buried being lifted. She said, "Man-soo was your father's oldest friend. They grew up together. Same village. Side by side from childhood. After we married, your father would mention him sometimes. When he talked about his younger years, Man-soo would come up. He smiled when he talked about him. But then 1 year he stopped. If I asked, he would let it pass. When Man-soo came up, his face would darken. His voice would lower. So I stopped asking." In-sok said, "Do you know what happened 35 years ago?" She said, "Not in detail. One evening that year your father came home and his face was wrong. He didn't eat properly. He said nothing. He went to the room and didn't come out for a long time. 3 days passed. I asked him. He said Man-soo was supposed to come. At 12 o'clock today. He didn't come. That was all he said. He said nothing more. I asked nothing more. After that, Mansus' name disappeared from this house completely. In-sook closed his eyes. Mansu was supposed to come at 12. He did not come, so his father stopped the watch at that 12 o'clock. For 35 years, until he died. Why did he not come? What had happened? Had he wanted to come and been unable? Had there never been a way? These questions had no answers now. His father was gone and Mansus' whereabouts were unknown. Whether Mansu was still alive was unknown. They sat without speaking. The candle trembled. Outside, the dark edge of pre-dawn was slowly giving way. Somewhere far off, the first birds of morning began. March was bringing its first light. His mother closed her eyes and then opened them. She looked at the watch again. She said quietly, "I took that watch out of the drawer once. Just once. Your father was out. I opened the cover. 12 o'clock. I put it back. I never said anything. That was all. Would you have set the watch going again? Or left it at 12 the way your father had? If this story stayed with you, the next one begins here too."